pleased to be able to rise and speak on this important motion raised by my colleague, the member for Hindmarsh, this morning, because waiting lists around home care packages has become one of the critical issues in my electorate of Newcastle, and indeed my electorate of Newcastle is not unique in this regard. I know this is an experience shared around the country. I thank the Minister for his contribution. I was horrified when I walked into this chamber to see not a single government member listed to speak on this bill, on this motion. Fortunately, the Minister was on duty and happened to be in the chamber, saw the opportunity and took it, and I thank you for that, because you are the only member on your side, those in government, who thought this was worthy enough this morning to invest their time and speak on this motion. That is shocking. I do wish to just note at this point that the very reason we are able to have this debate today is a result of Labor reforms that were put into place before we lost government. The fact that we have waiting lists now is because of an insistence of the former Labor government. And whilst I acknowledge the minister's, I'm sure, genuine efforts around seeking bipartisan support when it comes to aged care reforms in Australia, we're not joining him on a race to the bottom on this one. We can't sit and wait any longer. Tomorrow is, in fact, the 12-month anniversary of the waiting lists being known to the Australian government. So the minister has, in fact, as have all his colleagues, had access to this information for 12 months now. That is why Labor has brought this motion to the table today, because we are not prepared to wait any longer, in the same way that older Australians should not have to wait any longer. Mr Deputy Speaker, if there is anything that demonstrates the Turnbull government's total disregard for vulnerable Australians, it is this very issue now, the lack of action to address what is a looming crisis in aged care in Australia. There are now 100,000 Australians who are waiting to access packages that they've been assessed as being eligible for, can't get the right level, maybe can't get any package whatsoever into their areas. 80,000 of those people are people who have high care needs, including dementia. They're the people we're saying, that the government's had this data for 12 months about, failed to do anything. They're the people we're talking about here. This isn't some kind of, esoteric group of Australians that we are somehow not known to us. The government is really unable. I mean, they've announced very recently an additional 6,000 packages. But that is clearly woeful. 100,000 Australians need these packages. 80,000 of them have complex needs like dementia, and we've got on the table from the government an offer of 6,000 additional packages. Not good enough, but this is a competition that no one wants to win. In New South Wales, which tops the list, we have close to 35,000 Australians unable to access packages. And the terrible, shameful truth about aged care in Australia is that people will literally die as a result of waiting for these packages, as I said, packages that they've already been approved as being eligible for. In my electorate of Newcastle, too many constituents are reaching out to me in desperation after waiting fruitlessly for support packages to become available. One gentleman that contacted my office was just totally at his wit's end after waiting close to a year for a high-level package for his 90-year-old mother to be approved. This package would have allowed her to maintain her independence by providing in-home support for things like cleaning, personal care. My constituent said that in the time he had been battling to get an outcome for his mother, he had logged more than 300 hours on the phone to My Aged Care and sent a link to no avail. The only resolution, the only satisfaction he got was when my office became involved and was eventually able to resolve this for his mother. Why should people like he and his mother continue to suffer as a result of a government that is floundering so busy on its own problems, can't resolve issues for older
I thank
Australians.
the member